Now on the news at 10, drama, pageantry, and faith, framing a truly historic day as the conclave selected a new pope. We take a look at the man who will lead more than 1 billion Catholics worldwide.
For an American pope for the first time, it's really, really crazy.
Plus, lurking beneath the surface, even in Idaho's hottest months, caves of ice serve as a natural wonder for visitors.
And we enjoyed another beautiful spring day, but tomorrow the heat is on. We'll talk about record-challenging heat and what it means for your Mother's Day weekend coming up in my full forecast. The news at 10 starts now.
The courts will decide whether he committed these murders or not, but we can show you the evidence that they have assembled.
Tonight, we are giving you a look at the new Dateline episode featuring what NBC calls never-before-reported evidence in the Moscow murders case.
The trial for the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in 2022 is set to start in Ada County in August. Abby Davis talked to Dateline correspondent Keith Morrison this afternoon. And Abby, what can people expect from the episode this week?
Well, the 2-hour special, The Terrible Night on King Road, will air right here on NBC tomorrow night. Morrison says it'll help clear up the timeline of events the night before and morning of the murders.
This is all in the possession of law enforcement, but it's been held pretty close to the vest.
Ahead of Dateline Friday, correspondent Keith Morrison sheds light on new details he says will be revealed in the Moscow murders case.
It has not been out in public at all.
The special comes 2.5 years after University of Idaho students Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were stabbed to death in an off-campus home.
We don't know why he would have selected the people he selected.
Brian Koberger, the man accused of the murders, will stand trial in Ada County in August. Morrison says Dateline is sharing photos, videos, and other digital materials from the investigation into the murders for the first time. Specifically, this video NBC obtained of a white car investigators say was seen in the area around the time of the killings.
We're able to tell you what kind of material Brian Koberger was downloading on his phone, who he was calling, where he was calling from, when he was calling, what his timeline was, what his interests were.
Dateline also interviewed former U of I students, including a woman who says she met Koberger at a pool party just months before the murders. Koberger was a graduate student in criminology at nearby Washington State University at the time.
I definitely felt a little obligated to chat with him because to me he seemed a little awkward, kind of like you might expect for a PhD student who didn't know anyone at the party and was maybe trying his best to kind of get out there and be social and make friends.
Morrison tells me they spoke with criminology and genetics experts, as well as a woman who says her daughter was supposed to be in the house that night. Do sources have concerns about any of the evidence, specifically the DNA on the knife sheath, or how the evidence was collected by law enforcement?
We did talk about that. We got into it in some detail. It may not have been quite in the rule book, but in a case where they felt that there was a significant public interest in finding the answer, they may have gone outside the rule book to get the information they did.
Ada County District Judge Stephen Hippler recently denied Koberger's attempt to throw out evidence law enforcement says led them to him. Like us, Dateline has been following this case since the very beginning. This is the show's third episode about the murders. And again, you can watch the special tomorrow at 8 p.m. right here on KTVB. Morgan and Brian.
There certainly is a lot of interest in this case across the country.
Yes.
It has been for many months, many years, actually.
Yes,
at this
years.
point. So we're looking forward to it. Thanks, Abby.
Still in the 70s right now at 10 o'clock at night, Rachel. An incredibly beautiful day. We know the temperatures are going to warm up, though.
Yes, they are, even further. You're right. Today, it was hard to be in a bad mood today, right? It was sunny. The wind was relatively calm, a little breezy at times. We landed at 78 degrees. And yes, here at the station, we're still at 73 at 10:03 at night. Pretty phenomenal. We hit the upper 70s in the Magic Valley. Even Haley hit 72, flirting with 70 in the mountains. So it was a stunning spring day across the region that already was feeling a bit more like summer. But tomorrow, that thermostat gets cranked up even further. So we have a very quiet Thursday evening across not just Idaho, but the entire Northwest. A few clouds coming in, but that's about it that will inhibit our beautiful view of that blue sky tomorrow. So a couple clouds early, maybe a few more in the afternoon. But look at your Friday. We'll be in the mid-50s at 7 o'clock, already pushing 80 at noon. Tomorrow, we'll be up near 90 by the time it's all said and done. This will be the hottest day of 2025 so far. But we don't stop here. Saturday, even hotter ahead of some significant changes after that. We'll talk about all of that in my full forecast.
A truly historic day. The Catholic Church has a new pope, and he's an American.
He is. Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost emerged from the conclave, chosen by fellow cardinals to be pope and lead the Catholic faith. He was introduced by his new papal name, Pope Leo XIV.
Having spent most of his life outside the United States, Pope Leo XIV celebrated tonight with deep pride in his hometown of Chicago.
Many people thought this extraordinary moment would never happen. An American, now the leader of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics for the first time.
La pace sia con tutti voi.
He is now known as Pope Leo XIV, but until today, he was Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost.
Yeah, for an American pope for the first time, it's really, really crazy.
We cried, we hugged, we laughed, and that's before we knew that the new pope was from the U.S. And then when that happened, we cried again.
Born in Chicago, the 69-year-old was educated at Villanova and led the Augustinian order, spending much of his life outside of the U.S., working extensively in Italy and Peru. On St. Peter's Square, we met Chicago native Denise Utter, who says she started shaking when she heard the news.
I'm an Augustinian affiliate and know his brothers and the people that he went to school with, and I'm here because of him. He will be an amazing pope.
While back home, we heard from his brother, John.
It's a tremendous, tremendous thing to take in, but it's something to be very proud of. He gives the advice to us, but to him, advice to him, I would just say, be yourself.
Bishop Robert Barron says Pope Leo is highly competent and highly respected.
When you looked at the attributes of Pope Leo XIV, did it make sense?
It does. He's a man of extraordinary accomplishment, head of the worldwide Augustinian order. I know him as a very kind of quietly a competent person, not a flashy personality, but someone that you can just see has a lot of integrity.
Against a pale blue sky, the white smoke began streaming from the chimney atop the Sistine Chapel just after 6 p.m. A deafening roar erupting from the crowd of tens of thousands. There were tears, hugs, and prayers. This nun overcome with emotion. We were with these students from the University of Louisville when the smoke appeared.
Oh, that's wonderful. We're here. We did it. This seems like something that's going to be very hard to top in your lives.
Yeah.
You feel that way?
Yes. Oh, most definitely. Yeah. You know, you'd say once in a lifetime experience. I think it's a once in a thousand lifetime experience to be a boy from Kentucky, to go to Rome, to see the faith. I'll never be able to top that.
Around Rome, people dropped what they were doing and ran. 150,000 people filling the streets leading to St. Peter's Square. Anticipation building as the world waited to find out who was chosen as Pope. Inside, Pope Leo changed into his new vestments, leaving the Sistine Chapel to the applause of the cardinals, pausing for a moment of prayer. Then outside.
Habemus Papam.
Habemus Papam. We have a Pope. Pope Leo emerging onto the balcony, greeting the world as pontiff for the first time. Fluent in Italian and Spanish, he addressed the crowd in both, drawing comparisons to Francis as he spoke of the importance of a missionary church and a church that builds bridges. He is also a modern pope, active on social media. As a cardinal, he appeared to criticize both President Trump and Vice President Vance, recently posting the headline, "J.D. Vance is wrong. Jesus doesn't ask us to rank our love for others." But tonight, the president praising the pick.
What greater honor could there be? And we were a little bit surprised, but very happy. It was just a great, absolutely great honor.
It took 2 days to elect Pope Leo, just like his two most recent predecessors. The question now, what kind of pope will he be?
Incredible to see 150,000 people rushing into that area. Back here at home, the Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist in downtown Boise rang its bell as the Pope stepped out onto the balcony. Its doors were decorated in white and gold to signify a new era. People were inside and outside the cathedral while all of this was happening, emotionally listening to the Pope's first words.
I'm ecstatic. I have goosebumps everywhere. It's just wonderful.
I feel very overwhelmed with joy. I'm brought to tears through the experience. I can tell that he has a gentle spirit and a heart for our Lord and for our communities, and that's exactly what you look for in a strong Pope.
The election of the first American Pope has sparked a sense of pride and connection among Idaho's Catholic community. A deacon with the Diocese of Boise says special masses will be held throughout Idaho in the coming days to celebrate this historic election.
Well, new at 10, we know Boise State University's president is saying goodbye, but tonight, Dr. Marlene Trump, said goodbye to the staff and students of the school. She sent out a farewell message to students and staff, saying in part, what an inspiring, complex, challenging, and joyful journey it has been leading Boise State University. As I look forward to the days ahead, I continue to recall the many achievements and special moments we have shared as a university community. Dr. Trump has served as BSU's president since 2019. Trump will head to the East Coast to serve next as the president of the University of Vermont.
I loved her spirit for BSU. A woman is recovering after police say she drove through the wall of a Valley Regional Transit building. The Caldwell Police Department says after 7 o'clock last night, a car drove through the intersection of Happy Day and Cleveland Boulevards. It then drove through the parking lot and entered the Happy Day Transit Center. Police say the vehicle went through a closed bay door and stopped after hitting a cinder block wall. No one was in the building at the time. Police say first responders took the woman to a local hospital. They believe she was having a medical emergency.
Well, we are just a few weeks away from the start of, chip sealing season. Not everybody's favorite. I know. Ada County Highway District says crews are going to start work after Memorial Day weekend. So, again, you got a couple weeks to get ready. Take a look on the screen, and then you can see where you can expect to see some crews starting that chip sealing. ACHD encourages you to sign up for notifications so you can know if it is happening near you, and of course keep your distance from other cars when driving on a freshly chip-sealed road.
Still to come here on the News at 10, in a new Exploring Idaho, there are some caves in Idaho's Magic Valley full of ice. But not only are they a cool geographic feature, they also kept people refreshed hundreds of years ago.
As the logo says, it's time for another Exploring Idaho.
Yeah, this week, Hector Mendoza picks up the exploration, taking us an hour north to uncover or rediscover another of Idaho's hidden natural wonders.
You've seen the roaring beauty that is Shoshone Falls, but now it's time to hit the road, where photojournalist Jason Foster and I take you just over 40 miles north of Shoshone Falls to another Idaho marvel, hiding over 20,000 tons of ice just out of plain sight in Idaho's high desert land.
And you'll know you're close when you notice that big green creature of prehistoric proportions.
Shane? Yeah, that's me. That's where we caught up with Shane Wallace. He runs things around here at the Shoshone Ice Caves with a little help from his friends.
What's his name again?
Alley-oop and Denny.
Alley-oop and Denny, okay.
Denny the dinosaur and Alley-oop the caveman.
Look up Alley-oop and Denny. Pretty cool comic book series.
A comic book from the 1940s with featured Adventures of a Time-Traveling Caveman.
So normally the caveman has hair?
Yep.
We are also traveling in time.
And so this is the big signal that tells everybody, well, the ice caves are right there.
Yep.
And our adventure starts here.
So entrance to the cave?
That's here.
All right.
The Shoshone Ice Cave is actually a prehistoric lava tunnel carved not by water, but fire and frozen in time.
The ice cave was formed from this volcano that's off in the distance, a couple miles away there. It erupted about 10,000 years ago.
When a dome volcano erupts, lava flows slowly underground. When the eruption ends, the lava drains, leaving a hollow tunnel in its place. It's what Alley-oop would call a lava tube.
This is all natural lava flow here that we're walking on. It's about 80 stairs to come down and 80 stairs going back.
And it was the 1880s when a 10-year-old boy named Alpha Kinsey originally found the cave while searching for his family's lost livestock and found...
Real small opening at that time. realized how chilly cold it was, went around and told his friends and family, and before long people would come down here and discovered the ice cave and would harvest this ice and utilize it at home.
Before refrigerators cooled drinks, this cave did.
Welcome to the ice cave.
Ice blocks were carved by hand, hoisted with rope, and hauled to the booming rail town of Shoshone.
So all of this right now that's coming in that's creating these icicles is all snow melt.
It's a frozen fortress, and the temperature, a crisp 25 degrees.
I'm standing above 10 feet worth of ice, below 80 feet worth of rock and other types of minerals, and they call this the Gothic Arch. Now they call it that because the lava flow that came through formed this sort of tunnel, and that's what allowed this formation to come through, which is unique as other caves get formed due to water erosion.
Now, let me geek out for a second.
You may be wondering how it's so warm out there, but below freezing down in these caves.
The answer has to do with air pressure. With one low entrance, cold air sinks and gets trapped in the cave, moisture seeps in and freezes, and the thick lava rock seals in the chill like a deep freezer.
Without that closed off, you'd be seeing 100-degree temperature air just flowing right through here, ripping in and making this no longer an ice cave.
It all comes together to form a super stable microclimate, keeping air below freezing even in the summer, which allows the ice to accumulate. Before we head back to the surface, one last cool cave curiosity to shed some light on.
Something unique about caves that you can experience total darkness. Hit the lights. Hey! And now that we've climbed out of the cold and made it back to the heat, that just signals the end of the tour. And I just wanted to thank Shane. Thank you so much for letting us come in, teaching us some things, and we got a chance to learn a lot.
Absolutely, thank you.
We're exploring Idaho.
Look for the big green dinosaur.
Hector Mendoza, Idaho's News Channel 7.
Did it not look like Hector was having so much fun?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. We also said earlier, I said, an hour north. It's 2 hours east. We had a little mix up.
But north of Shoshone Falls, where Exploring Idaho started last week.
Exactly. That's the part we left out. All right, if you would like to enjoy this frozen fortress, hours are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and tours leave every hour, with the last tour leaving at 5 p.m.
It does cost $10 for kids, or I should say $10, but kids, is it kids 12 and under 15 or for adults?
No, it costs $10 for kids under 12 and then 15 for adults.
15 for adults.
Yeah.
Over 12.
There you go. Rachel, take it away.
Hey, that's what I got from that package, that story. That's great, Hector. I tell you what, tomorrow and Saturday, ice caves or maybe inside in the AC. Might be a good time to check if it's working. Those might be some of the only places you want to be, as we have some sizzling heat coming our way, at least sizzling for early May. So early taste of summer continues. We're looking at a warm but windy Mother's Day, so we'll stay well above normal tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. But already we'll see some changes coming in on Sunday in the form of those blustery winds, and that will lead to plummeting temperatures next week. So we go from so far above normal, where we're in record challenging territory, to cooler than average early next week. So from summer to sweater weather in the span of a couple of days. Look at tomorrow's timeline. Your Friday here in the Treasure Valley. We may have a few clouds coming and going, but still will warm into those upper 80s. Remember, the warmest Boise has been so far this year is 82. We'll fly past that by early afternoon tomorrow. Now, tomorrow also, you'll notice in the afternoon, those winds out of the south will start picking up just a bit. We could see some gusts of 20 to 25 miles per hour. So a bit of a nuisance maybe for your outdoor patio plans, but that's what will help propel those temperatures into such warm territory. And they are an indication that we might have another weather system in the works, and that's exactly the case. So our sneak peek of summer brought to us by the strong ridge of high pressure that will still dominate for the next couple of days, but it will slowly start getting nudged east as this system drops out of the Gulf of Alaska and starts heading to the east over the weekend. And so biggest impacts for us will come in late Sunday into Monday, but as early as Saturday afternoon, there's some models that are hinting at the possibility of a couple of isolated showers and thunderstorms across portions of southern Idaho. So I'll start us about midday Saturday, since there's not much else going on between now and then. Some clouds starting to roll in. There's our system starting to come in across the west coast. This is the front Saturday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, hitting the Pacific Northwest again. So here's a round of rain that this model puts over portions of the Treasure Valley around 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. Still, though, the front is off to the west, and so it'll take most of Mother's Day to work its way into our neck of the woods. So by Sunday afternoon, the storm's firing off in eastern Idaho, the front not far from us. So eastern Oregon, you may have some rumbles of thunder, very gusty winds to contend with. In the evening on Sunday, this will take a little bit longer to roll into southwest Idaho, but still, we are looking at some showers accompanying the front and likely, at least in the Boise area, continuing into Monday. Monday carries the best chance of seeing scattered showers. We could, though, get a couple stray showers and storms Sunday evening. So Mother's Day night, keep an eye on the sky if you're headed out and about, but the rest of your Mother's Day is looking pretty good. Tomorrow, speaking of looking good, we'll be in the mid-80s in the Magic Valley tomorrow, mid-70s up in the mountains, across the Treasure Valley, upper 80s to near 90 degrees for the next 2 afternoons. Grab the water, stay hydrated. There's your warm Mother's Day, and then we're just down into the 60s with breezy winds through next week. We'll be right back.
Members of Idaho's law enforcement came together in Meridian today to honor officers who lost their lives in the line of duty.
The ceremony, held just before National Police Week, provided a space for colleagues and family to pay respect to those who sacrificed for their communities.
This annual memorial ceremony honors Idaho's fallen officers, including Ada County Sheriff's Deputy Tobin Bolter, whose name was added to the memorial today.
There's 3 things I can tell you for a fact that he loved. He loved his Savior, Jesus Christ, and he lived that in such a way that it brought light to many people in their life. He loved Abby, and he loved his family, and he loved his community, and he showed that every day.
On top of giving Idahoans a way to remember officers who've died in the line of duty, organizers say the memorial also helps law enforcement heal, as well as family and friends of fallen officers, by showing them that they are not alone. We're back after this.
We're fired up for Johnny Radford, Stratton Rogers, Tyler Robinette, and Jake O'Neill now we see is moving on to Arizona State. So 4 guys getting a chance to play on the biggest stage. We're excited for them. They've earned the right to be there. They did it the right way. They were loyal to College of Idaho, got their degree here, played 4 years, and now they get an opportunity to showcase themselves.
There's a pretty cool trend developing within the College of Idaho men's basketball program. In the last 12 months, 4 former Yotes have landed Division I opportunities. Last year, Jake O'Neill made the jump, transferring to Idaho State. This year, Johnny Radford, Tyler Robinette, and Stratton Rogers are all following suit. Since they're out of NAI eligibility, meaning they literally can't play at the College of Idaho again, they're going D1. Now O'Neill is ready to test himself again at a higher level. He's currently awaiting a ruling on an eligibility waiver. If it goes through, he'll play next season at Arizona State.
It's been a whirlwind of a situation the last month or so, but I just signed to hopefully play at Arizona State next year, depending on if my waiver goes through or not. And so we'll have to wait and see. But being able to play on the Big 12 level it's a dream come true, obviously. I love playing at the NAI level, and I just love playing college basketball in general, but it is crazy to think we're here now and it could be a real chance.
Following a victory over Utah State yesterday, the boys state softball team advanced to the double elimination portion of the Mountain West tournament today. Taking on #1 seeded Nevada, the Broncos were still searching for their first run of the game in the 6th inning. Chloe Hughes earns it with a bases loaded free pass. On to the 7th we go with the Wolfpack leading 8-2 now. Megan Lake plates Mackenzie Butt with an opposite field single. The Broncos climb to within 5. Moments later with the bases loaded and still nobody out, Holly Farmer shoots one through the infield. Game on, right? Not exactly. Leah McAnally collides with the shortstop. The umpires rule interference. McAnally is out. The runner that scored has to go back to third, and the Broncos run out of gas shortly after that. Nevada wins 8-4. BSU now gets San Diego State tomorrow at 4 o'clock in an elimination game. Heading on over to Ellensburg, Washington, the Northwest Nazarene baseball team started play at the GNAC Championships this afternoon. After dropping the first game to Central Washington, the Nighthawks bounced back in a big way in Game 2, up 3-0 in the third. Chris Enriquez sends one towards the gorge. His 5th home run of the season made it 6-zip. 1 inning later, Casey Wayne leaves the yard to left field. More from him in a second, but first, NNU continued to show why they were the top-ranked offense in the league, scoring 15 runs in this one. As promised, here's one more from Wayne. He only had 2 home runs on the season coming into today. He sent 2 over the wall against MSU Billings. The Nighthawks avoid elimination. They're back in action again tomorrow afternoon. Former Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty signed his rookie contract with the Raiders today. Jeanty gets just over $35 million over the next 4 years. All of that is guaranteed. Only Saquon Barkley has a greater guarantee than Jeanty when it comes to NFL running backs. Stick around. We're back with the news at 10 right after this.
Continue with us and watch free now on the KTVB Plus app everywhere you stream.